Welcome back to day 2 of Flourless February. So today we are going to be making a gluten-free garbanzo bean cookie. It comes out like a peanut butter chocolate chip cookie. They're very good. So we will actually just hop right in and get those made. So these cookies are made completely in a food processor or blender. So first we are going to put our chickpeas and our peanut butter in, and we just want to start to blend that up. I'm using a crunchy peanut butter today just because I ran out of smooth peanut butter, so I want to make sure that I blend up those chunks of peanut as much as I can. Now that this is pretty well blended to start with, we want to add in our vanilla, our baking powder. You would add your salt at this point if you were not using a salted peanut butter. And I'm going to put a glove on, and we are going to add in our honey or agave syrup if you are doing this as a vegan cookie. I apologize, there may be a cat. There's a cat meowing at me in the background here. So we will now just get this blended up. Alright, so now we are going to add in our chocolate chips. You'll see that your batter looks sort of like hummus, nice and well blended. So we'll now add your chocolate chips. You can add a vegan chocolate chip if you're making a vegan cookie. I'm just using normal Toll House chocolate chips. So we are going to now just start this blending. You don't want to blend it a ton because you don't want to break up your chocolate chips too much. So I have removed it from our food processor, and we are just going to take out the blending piece. Just be very careful because it is sharp. And I've just cleaned it off a little bit with gloved hands. And we are now going to get our cookie dough scooped out onto a sheet pan so we can bake it in the oven. All right, so I am just using a number 40 scoop, and we're just going to go in and take a nice flat scoopful, and you'll be able to fit 1 dozen on a sheet pan. I am just using a piece of parchment paper on here in order to make cleanup a little bit easier. So we just want to get these all scooped out, and we will get them in the oven. Now this recipe made 1,008. So this is a batch that uses 1 can of chickpeas. So just keep that in mind. There's plenty of room to make more in the food processor, so you can gauge depending on how much you need. So now we are going to get these in the oven for 10 minutes and then we will check them. Alright, it has been 10 minutes and you can see here they're not starting to brown yet. They're not completely baked. So I'm going to set the timer for another 5 minutes and let them continue baking. I did have to put our cookies in the oven for an additional 3 more minutes on top of the 5. So it has been a total of 17 minutes. And they are starting to brown the tops. So they are just done. So we will pull these out and we will let them cool a little bit before trying one. Alright, our chocolate chip peanut butter garbanzo bean cookies look delicious. So now we're just going to let them cool and we will give them a try. So all said and done, they look really good. So we are actually going to have our taste test here. Breaks apart like a normal cookie. And they taste really good. Honestly, I don't think that I could tell you that they were made with chickpeas if I hadn't made them. They're a little bit softer than a regular cookie, so I probably would assume that they were gluten-free, but I don't think that most people would. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I will link all those down below in the description, as well as in our end screen here. And if you would like to see last week's Flourless February video, which is our chocolate brownie cookies, I will link that up in the corner up above here, as well as in the end screen. And if you'd like to see anything specific, just let me know and I will try to find a recipe and make it for you. And we will see you next week for our next installment of Flourless February. Happy baking!